Thank you so much for being here. I have two gorgeous and dynamic guests today that, because of your email saying we've got to have this dynamic mother-daughter duo back, they are coming back. I know the cooking demos are always some of the most popular segments. It's some of my favorite too, because I learn things and I get inspired by new recipes. I tend to be a very lazy chef and eat the same thing over and over. So when I see delicious recipes that are low in fat and full of starch and free of sugar, oil, and salt, I get very excited. And they actually teach online cooking classes now. They're from Vegan News Daily. The beautiful mother is named Elspeth Feldman, and some of you know her from her blog, The Speedy Vegan. And the gorgeous daughter, Caileigh Feldman, has she's from Give Joy a Chance. It's something I just heard about today. Maybe she'll talk about it. And they're coming from two different cities. That is what is so cool about this, is like, you know, you can bring people together. Hello, Laurel. I see you're there already. So I will now do what I do best, which is just be quiet and let my guests speak. Please welcome from Vegan News Daily, Elspeth and Caileigh, and tell us what you guys are making today.
Well, thank you, Chef AJ. Thank you so much for having us back. And welcome to everybody. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making two recipes. The first is a Mediterranean stuffed eggplant with a tahini sauce. And I'll give you a few variations on that to make it compliant for whatever food rules you're following. And I'm also going to be making a sinless summer fruit tart. And can't wait to tell you all about those recipes. And I'm here today with my daughter, Caileigh. So
thank you, AJ. It's an honor to be on again. And thank you, Mom. I'm excited to get cooking. So let's get started.
All right. So both these recipes are from our upcoming class in June called Sweet and Savory Summer. So we have 3 classes in June. Caileigh will tell you more information about it. But this first recipe I'm going to do is the Mediterranean eggplant, and it's from our Mediterranean class as part of the Sweet and Savory Summer. So I cook without oil, just like Chef AJ, and I've got the stainless steel pan, nothing in it, no oil. And first up, I'm going to add the onions to the pan. And these recipes are going to be emailed to you later if you send in us an email at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. Caileigh will post that again. But these recipes will be sent to you. But sit back, relax, and watch how we make them. So onions are going to be sauteing here in the pan. And with the onions, I'm going to add some mushrooms. These are just chopped up mushrooms. And it's about 3/4 cup. And I'm just going to let that heat up for a while here. And to prevent the onions and mushrooms sticking to the pan, I just add a little splash of water. But I don't need to do anything just yet because the moisture from the mushrooms is going to seep out into the pan. So just going to let that go for a little while. And then the next ingredient on here is some, but you know what, before I do that, I forgot to do one little thing. Very important step. We need to get the eggplants in the oven so that they can, the eggplant shells. So I have scooped out some eggplants already, but I'm going to show you how I do it. So I buy the smaller eggplants there at farmers markets this time of year, or maybe some of you are growing them in your garden. So you want a nice small eggplant, probably fits in your hand. And then I just take a knife and I cut through the center. And then you can either use a little paring knife to cut around. I have this serrated grapefruit spoon, which is kind of nice. And I'm just going to scoop out some of the flesh from the inside of the eggplant. And I want to leave about a 1/4-inch shell around the edge of the eggplant so that the eggplant, when it's baking in the oven, the shape will hold. I don't want it to get too thin on the outside. And this is going to serve as our container for the filling that we're going to be, that's sizzling alongside me right here. So I scoop out as much eggplant as I want here. And then I have a baking sheet that's lined with a silicone baking mat. You could also use some parchment paper. And I'm just going to put these into a preheated oven for about we'll go with 15 minutes right now. So the temperature is about 400 degrees, preheated oven. I've got my onions and mushrooms sizzling here. And to the onions and mushrooms, I'm going to chop up all of the insides of the onion, of the the eggplant. So I've got the insides there. This is the eggplant that I had chopped up earlier. So I'm going to add that to the pan too. And that's also going to give off a little moisture. So you notice I haven't added anything to the pan yet. I haven't even added water. So I'm going to scoop up all of the eggplant. And this will break down and get nice and soft. So I'm going to do this. There is a little bit of sticking on the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to add a little splash of water. I want it to stick a little bit so the onions can caramelize on the base of the pan, but I do want to make sure that nothing sticks. So adding the water and then stirring it around kind of deglazes the bottom of the pan. It adds a lot of really delicious flavor. So I'm going to let that go for a little bit. And to this, I'm going to add tomato paste. I've got about 3 tablespoons or so of tomato paste.
Looks like we have a stalker watching from Pittsburgh named Kyle Feldman.
Ha, that would be my son, my son who's responsible for this whole vegan journey. So
I was just kidding. Of course I knew that, but.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
Kyle.
Anna Maria says she just finished your Vegan News Daily classes and they're so good. They are so good. I don't know if you guys follow Elspeth on Instagram as Speedy Vegan, but her food is just so beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was great having you in the class. So this is tomato spice. I'm also going to add tomato sauce, tomato paste. I'm going to add some garlic to it. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic. And this is the wonderful garlic chopper that Chef AJ always uses. And I think you might have a link to it on your website somewhere, but it's a lifesaver. I love this. So this is my garlic. I'm just going to add a little bit of water right to here because I don't want to miss out on any of this garlic. And I just put the lid back on. So into the pan. Smells amazing in my kitchen right now, and I haven't even added any of the spices. So yeah. So to this mixture, I'm going to add, I have some cumin and I have some oregano, some nice Mediterranean flavors. So I'll let those go in here and they will cook up a little bit. This is getting nice and soft. This is exactly what I want to happen here. And then the only other thing that I'm going to add to this is some pre-cooked rice. You can use white rice. I know there's some of you white rice lovers out there, AJ.
I love white rice.
And I'm using brown rice. This is brown basmati rice. And you could also use something like oat groats. Oat groats is really delicious and chewy, and oat groats is perfect in this recipe. So for all you oat groat lovers, this is a nice whole grain. So I love this dish because it's got everything in it. It's got the vegetables, it's got the starch, it looks good, it's perfect for dinner parties. In fact, both recipes that I'm doing today are lovely for special occasions or just for every day. So the rice is going to go in here. And this is probably pretty good right now. I'm just going to turn it off. Or maybe I'll let it go a little bit longer. Add a little splash of water. And maybe Caileigh can tell you exactly how to get these recipes or something more that she wants to say. Caileigh, over to you.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll just share with you guys a little bit about our series and what we've been up to, if that's okay. So our upcoming series in June is called Sweet and Savory Summer, and it starts June 9th, June 16th, and June 23rd. So each of those is like a separate class. So this is from our class. It's going to be June 16th, which is the Mediterranean class. So each class features about 10 to 14 different recipes. So our mission with Vegan News Daily is really dedicated to encouraging positive change on this planet and encouraging people to eat more plant-based foods so that they can live their best life. So my mom and I have been teaching together in the kitchen for many years now, doing lots of demos, teaching in schools, teaching adults. And now we've decided during this time of social distancing and COVID-19 to really bring it online. My mom's other cookbook is Pardon My Turkey, which is a Thanksgiving book. And our entire family is actually vegan. My dad and my brother, my mom, my husband, and we're all vegan. We've been vegan for like 8 years now, which is inspired by my brother, Kyle, who I think is watching live. And my husband and I have spent a lot of time traveling, teaching yoga and retreats all over the world. And most recently, we lived in Costa Rica. So in May, we actually taught another 3-part cooking class, which is called Meals and Mocktails in May, which featured Mexican, Italian, and American food. So these are some of the highlights. It went really, really well. And we had a lot of fun. We had everyone on Zoom. Every class featured a mocktail, so we would cheers at the beginning of every class. And we just got really amazing feedback from people and how it was changing their life. But most importantly, what we were most proud of was that we were able to donate over $1,000 to food banks for COVID-19 relief. We put 19% of our proceeds from the last cooking series to these 2 amazing food banks. One's in Long Island called Community Solidarity, and they're able to get a lot of produce from grocery stores that's about to be wasted and repurpose it and give it to communities in need, which is amazing. And the other is Center of Help in Annapolis, where they're able to create meals and support Latino and Hispanic communities. And this is actually helped to be organized by my high school teacher. So that's a very cool connection that we had there. So today, as you know, we're going to learn how to make this stuffed eggplant with lemon tahini sauce. And we're also going to make a sinless summer fruit tart, which is so amazing and so perfect to brighten up your summer table. So afterwards, if you want the recipes, you can just email us at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. AJ has put those in the show notes, and she's also posted that in the chat. But I want to tell you just a little bit more about our series coming up. We're going to have over 33 delicious recipes, shopping lists. Every class is 3 hours live where you get to see these recipes made in front of you from start to finish. You have daily tips from us and inspiration in our private Facebook group. And you get the full length recordings of all of the classes. So if you can't make it live, it's no worries. We make sure to get you the full video afterwards. So this is the grocery list and the beautiful cookbook cover. And the photos are like amazing. And of course, the recipes taste great, but sometimes we just eat with our eyes, right? So the photos are really beautiful in the book. Our first class is going to be Brilliant Breakfast and Brunch, which is on June 9th. Then Marvelous Mediterranean on June 16th. And the end one is Amazing Asian on June 23rd. So these are some of the beautiful recipes that we're really excited, all cooked by my amazing mother, the Speedy Vegan. So the series is only $79. And again, we're raising money for food banks because a lot of food banks are struggling right now. And the more we can all do that, our part, the better we all are. So you just go to vegannewsdaily.com/dinner club if you want to join in the series. So I will turn it back over to my mama.
Okay, great. So I have the filling for the eggplant right here, ready to go. I'm just waiting on my eggplants to come out of the oven. So I can either get going on the tahini sauce that we're going to use to drizzle over it. Unless you had any questions, Chef AJ?
Just the question is are you guys raw, and do you have a book?
I'm not raw. I consider myself high raw, and especially in the summer, I eat mostly raw, I'd say, but I definitely love some steamed greens. You know, my favorite breakfast in the world is big bowl of steamed broccoli. So I definitely am not fully raw. My book is Pardon My Turkey, and that is a vegan Thanksgiving recipe book. And I also, in May, we did a Meals and Mocktails series, and with that there is a book with over 40 recipes in that too. And Caileigh, you can answer for you.
You're muted, Caileigh. Your microphone's muted. Got to unmute. Oh my goodness.
Well, while she's unmuting, whilst Caileigh's unmuting, I can quickly do one thing that I need to add to the filling. So this is where I just tasted it. It needs a little bit of seasoning. So I'm going to add some pepper, obviously optional. So pepper goes in, and this is just waiting for those eggplants to come out of the oven. So I got pepper in, and then this is my favorite salt-free seasoning. I learned it from the best, from Chef AJ. Benson's Table Tasty. So I'm just going to add some of that to it as well. About, I don't know, half a teaspoon. How's that? Caileigh, you want to answer your question?
Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute and I think AJ was helping me and we kept like going back and forth. So our other cookbook is the Sweet and Savory Summer Cookbook, which has over 33 recipes for our June course, which features a lot of I would say, yeah, it's a lot of cooked recipes, but some like more high raw recipes, like our dessert we're doing today. I personally eat raw because I feel my best. I just feel like amazing eating this way, but I don't like to be dogmatic about it. You know, once in a while, if I want something cooked, of course I would have it, but I just like to feel like most alive. And this is how I feel. But my first 5 years vegan, I definitely was not raw, and I would never, ever have like thought to do that. So why we love creating this cooking series and the work that we do is because we're really helping people just make slow, steady changes to create a sustainable, like healthy life for themselves. So these recipes are really simple. Whole food, plant-based is the way to go. And I feel like that gives you the most energy to like live the life that you want to live.
That's great. I've been taking a poll to see if they want you back once a month. And so far, everybody's saying, yep.
All right. So I think I can push the button on pulling the eggplants out of the oven. They might need a few more minutes, but that's okay. I can make up for it on the other end. Once they're stuffed, I'll put them back in. So I'm going to grab these out of the oven. They've started to soften a little bit. And I simply take a spoon, because now my filling is all nicely done. And I'm just going to pile it high into the cavity of each eggplant. And this is going to go back into the oven for probably another, typically I put it in for another 10 minutes, but we might do 15 today whilst I move on to other recipes. So I pile it high. So kind of like that. And this is going to look very pretty at the end once we do all the garnishes and stuff. So, okay. So that's it. So you've got, so far you got mushrooms and onions. Serve this with a green salad. It's going to have some greens on top because we'll put some parsley on for the garnish. All right, I think we're good. We're going back in the oven and I'm going to set it for 10 minutes. Back to you.
So some of the other recipes in our Mediterranean class that go along really well with this dish is we're doing baba ganoush. We're doing a trio of hummus, so 3 different ways because not everyone likes their hummus the same way. We're also doing a tzatziki that's vegan because most tzatziki, as we know, has Greek yogurt. So it's really easy to make it veganized. And we're also going to teach you how to do veggie stacks with polenta underneath, which is, I mean, it's so elegant and beautiful. It's really great for dinner parties. And then, of course, our fruit tart, and we're going to do a quinoa tabbouleh and a mocktail. Mom, are you going to make the sauce?
Yeah, so I'm ready to make the tahini sauce. This is what we're going to drizzle over the top of the eggplants. So in my blender, I'm going to I have about 2 tablespoons of tahini and a clove of garlic. There's no need to mince up the garlic because it's going to be blended. So no problem there. I'm going to have to scoop this out. So I've got tahini, which is a sesame paste. Don't worry, all you people who eat completely oil and don't want the fat from the sesame seed, I have another option. So I thought about you too. So I've got the garlic, the tahini. I'm going to need some lemon juice. Another favorite tool is the little citrus squeezer. I'm just going to squeeze it in there, about 2 tablespoons, I suppose. So squeeze in the lemon. And then I'm going to put the water in as well, about 1/3 cup of water. The other element of this dressing is dill. You can use fresh dill for sure. This is just some dried dill, but I'm going to wait. I'm not going to blend it in here because if I blended it in here, the tahini sauce would come out a little hint of green. So I want to keep it white with flecks of dill in it. So save that. So this is going to go in. I can also add a little salt-free seasoning, which I might just do now because I know I'm going to want it. So add that. And then I'm just going to blend this up. So I'm going to be making some blender noise. So you guys can talk.
You know, I seem to think that there's some feature now on Zoom when people are blending that it automatically makes it softer, because that's what I've been noticing, but maybe not.
I noticed that too, AJ. In our cooking classes, I wouldn't even have to mute my mom. It just like got quiet, and I was like, "Who did that?" Like I thought somebody else was muting her.
I know. I think it's actually a feature right now. So we have lots of nice comments from people that have been in the previous class that really liked it, and they're saying that they love that your mom's food is elegant and show-stopping, but not really all that difficult to prepare. And so that's a very nice compliment about that. That's great.
Yeah, I try to make it accessible. So while it might look fancy, it's like sometimes I'm embarrassed about how easy it is to actually make. So yeah. So anyway, so this is the tahini dressing all blended up. And then, as I said, I'm going to add the dill to it so that it can get nice and, with the little flecks. So I'll stir that in. And then in preparation for garnishing it or drizzling it over the stuffed eggplant, I could do a couple of things. I can simply spoon it out and drizzle it over with a spoon. Or I can pour it into a squeeze bottle, which is kind of fun. And I'll show you when I do it later, but I'm going to pour it into the squeeze bottle. I have this little funnel, another really cute little kitchen tool to have. You'll be surprised how many times a little funnel comes in handy. So I'm going to pour that in here, and that's just going to help me make it a little pretty and be a little more precise when I do garnish it.
You make everything pretty. Somebody's asking what type of blender you were using.
This is a Vitamix. Contrary to popular belief, I do not have stock in Vitamix, but I should. This is the Ascent series Vitamix. I have an old one that I bought from Vitamix several years ago that's still going, but this year I added another one to the family. So this Vitamix does have the regular canister, a 64-ounce canister, which I'll be using when I make the tarts. But it also comes with these nice little, this is a smoothie size container, and it also has an even smaller one that you can make little sauces in. So this is the Ascent series, and it's a little more fancy touchscreen, but I love it. Vitamix for me is king. I know there's some other good high-speed blenders, but I love Vitamix and use it every day.
Nice. Jennifer and Laurel are very anxious to hear what your tahini sub is.
My tahini sub. So instead of using the tahini, which I'll show you, I also simply use, you can use the marinara sauce, which looks really pretty, and it goes very well with the recipe. I have a delicious homemade marinara sauce, which was part of our Meals and Mocktails in May Italian class that we did. That is, again, it's one of those things that is so easy and so delicious that you will never buy store-bought marinara sauce, and you have control over things like oil and salt because you know what goes in your food. So my favorite thing to do if I'm not having tahini is to use California balsamic. This is the Gilroy garlic balsamic vinegar. It is absolutely delicious. It's a little thick, and this bottle is what is this? This is the 3-ounce bottle, and it's perfect for drizzling on because it's already got one of those little lids. I have an old California balsamic vinegar bottle that I cleaned out that I can also use for the tahini dressing. So I don't throw those bottles out. I keep using them for little drizzles of things. You can use raspberry sauce for a brownie or something like that. But yeah, Gilroy garlic is this one. It's delicious. California balsamics.
Well, California balsamics is watching right now, Thomas Allen, and he might be.
Hey, Thomas, I love your vinegar. Really delicious. Yeah, thank you.
And he might be showing up again soon, doing something in the kitchen. You never know. So yeah, I agree. They are delicious, and they sub for it. They're so great. Thank you for
So
doing
the
that.
eggplant is telling me that it's ready. So I'm going to bring it out and put it on the platter and show you what we're going to do. So
Another really good sub for instead of nuts, if you don't want to use tahini, is just use white beans. You could use can of drained white beans blended with lemon, lemon juice and garlic and the no salt seasoning. So that's another really great alternative.
yeah.
Great.
So
Oh, I just want to make a comment. Jesse, you're saying that the Zoom is behaving today. So yesterday, I actually had an interesting broadcast where at 18 minutes, I disappeared visually, but my sound was there. And it really was a Zoom glitch. So, but I thank you all you guys for Googling how to help me. But after talking to Zoom, they're really in the report. I went away, but better me go away than my lovely guest.
okay. So I'm just transferring the eggplant from the baking dish onto a platter. You could do this onto individual plates. I think in the photograph that we sent out with the Instagram post today, it's just one serving on a plate. So I have my platter of eggplants all lined up, and they look okay, but we're going to make them look a whole lot better. So again, if I were not going to have any tahini, I wanted really, really strictly low fat, I would use the balsamic vinegar or a drizzle of marinara sauce, and then I sprinkle basil on top. But the next item that goes with this recipe at this point is za'atar. Za'atar is a delicious Middle Eastern herb mix. It's you can buy it at Middle Eastern grocery stores, but usually it has some salt in it. So I like to make my own. And there are a couple of variations on it, but this one is thyme and sumac. Sumac is, again, it's, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it at Middle Eastern grocery stores. The substitute for sumac would be lemon zest. It's got a nice kind of sour flavor. And then toasted sesame seeds. And I'm not sure what, you can put cumin in it. There's different variations on it. So you can make your own, or you can buy it. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little za'atar over each. And it's nice, the herbs at this stage really are the first thing that you taste when you have a bite of this. So that's going on top. I'm going to get my basil leaves ready. So these are just monster sized basil.
Oh my goodness.
Really big. Anyway, big basil leaves. I'm just going to roll them up, and I'm going to cut them in a chiffonade cut. Just going to roll them, and these will go on top. But first I'm going to drizzle on my tahini. I think we'll use this one. So what I do is I just drizzle across, and then you can also have some, whoops, I messed up. So you can also have a little bowl of this on the side, if people want extra tahini. So looking prettier, but then when you add the pop of green, and of course we all know the benefits of eating fresh green herbs, and summertime, there's a lot of eggplants around, there's a lot of fresh basil around, and that is what your eggplant dish looks like. Something you'd be very proud to serve to guests. You could serve it to your family. It's just really, really pretty. So that's this Mediterranean stuffed eggplant with tahini sauce. And again, that's part of our sweet and savory summer cooking series that's coming up in June.
That is absolutely gorgeous. And I haven't had lunch yet. I wish you could just pass it through. People are asking where to get the recipes. So I'm putting vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. They just email you and you send them the recipes.
So I'm going to clear the set here and switch over into our fruit tart, our sinless summer fruit tart. So I'll let you guys chat for a moment.
Yep. And Elspeth, Ines wants to know if you have a spice mix for the za'atar.
I have it in my head. I can come up with something. Yeah.
Laurel says she was, I'm sorry. I had one more cooking question for Mom. Laurel was told that ajwain tastes the same as za'atar. Is that true? I don't know what ajwain is.
I'm not familiar with ajwang. Maybe our friend Shada might know. It's probably another Middle Eastern kind of herb, but no, I use sumac.
Okay. That's terrific. Thank you. And Deena going to have eggplant in her box that's delivered, so we know what she's going to make for dinner tomorrow.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
if you do make any of these recipes, please tag me the Speedy Vegan if you're on Instagram, or Vegan News Daily at Instagram, because we'd love to see what you made. When we were here in May and we did our May class, a few people tagged me in the zucchini manicotti that we made and the sweet potato brownies, and it was kind of fun seeing other people's take on it.
Thank you. Did you want to say something, Caileigh?
Oh yeah. First of all, I also haven't had lunch, and that looks really, really good right now. And every single one of our cooking classes, I know that all of our members are like drooling and wanting to jump through the screen. I'm sure that you've experienced that on all your lives. So we've got another exciting series that I wanted to share with you guys about while my mom's changing set. That was something that we were really inspired to create because I've actually spent a few years working in schools all over the country in New York City and Philadelphia with teens. And we felt like during this time when a lot of camps are going to be closed down, kids don't have the opportunity to get to know one another and interact and learn important skills. So we really created this new series out of, both need and also passion for educating younger people about health, because we know that how much of an impact a child can have on what their family eats. For example, why we went vegan as a family was because of my brother Kyle when he was just 15 years old. So teens really have the power to transform what their family puts on their plates. So we have created the Cooking Club Teens, and we're calling it Kitchen Takeover. And so this is a series of 6 online classes for teens ages 12 to 18, taking place on Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. From July 7th through August 11th. So we're really excited about this. We are doing all of our classes on different cuisines from all over the world. And we're also going to have a class on school snack, breakfast, and lunch so that teens know how to prepare their own healthy food for their school days when and if schools open back up, hopefully soon, and safely. So these are some of the menu that we're going to do. We're going to do incredible Italian, classic American, Mexican fiesta, amazing Asian, marvelous Mediterranean, and like I said, brunch, snack, and school lunch, which is going to be really fun. So we're very passionate about educating teens with these skills, whether it goes from knife skills or how to saute without oil. We're going to teach them how to make pizza dough from scratch and a lot of other really fun skills like this. Also about how to read food labels, select produce, how to make sauces really easily. And so, if you have a teen and you don't love cooking, but you think that they might have a passion for it, this would be a really great opportunity for them to learn and for them to take over cooking the meals for your family. They're going to learn how to also prepare delicious desserts like the fruit tart that we're going to make, and also create texture in dishes because that's really important. So the class is $199 for all 6 classes and the recipe book. And we're also going to be donating to food banks again, because we're very passionate about supporting them at this time. So if you are interested in this at all, you just go to veganewsdaily.com/teens and you can sign up your teen. And if you know someone else who has a teenager looking for something to do this summer, learning new skills, please send them our way. We're really excited about this. And again, if you want the recipes, you're just going to email us at veganewsdaily@gmail.com. Super easy.
That's great. Shane is saying that your sweet potato brownies are beyond. I know my sister said they were amazing. Your mom makes you look as beautiful as your food. That's just such an amazing thing that I follow only like 50 people on Instagram, but your pictures are so beautiful.
Thank you, Chef AJ. I take a compliment from you very, very humbly. So thanks very much. So I'm kind of ready to get started on the next recipe. This is the Sinless Summer Fruit Tart. And again, stay tuned because there's a few variations on sinless. This is a nutritarian style sinless that I'm going to start with, and then I'll tell you Chef AJ's version of sinless. That'll come later. So, all right. So to start with, the recipe is 2 cups of pecans. So Nuts, again, they're a very high fat food, but there's nothing wrong with nuts. They're good, and you're only going to have a little bit of nuts in each serving. But I got a couple of two cups of pecans. This is just my food processor. I don't think you can see my food processor. So this is the food processor right here. I'm going to add the pecans to it. That's going to go in. And then for this recipe, I use Diglet Nor dates, not the medjool dates that you use for the sweet potato brownie recipe. These are the Diglet Nor. So they're a little smaller. They're a little firmer. So these are the ones that I use for the crust. And then the other ingredient I put in is a teaspoon, something like that, of cinnamon. So ground cinnamon going in. And I'm just going to let this blend for a little bit. I'm going to pulse it until, this is for making the crust of the tart. So I'm going to let it pulse. You could use dried mulberries, which is a much lower fat ingredient, in place of the nuts. That is one thing. Or you could leave it out altogether, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm going to pulse this to get the crust going. So I'll be making a little bit of noise.
Caileigh, do you sing? Because maybe you can learn to sing in between these little breaks. That might be.
I do. In our classes, I always teaching about the benefits of the food. So while my mom's demoing and then we have a break, I teach about like why we use nuts and healthy fats and how to prepare and soak your nuts and all that stuff. So we always have lots of stuff going on. Our classes are super jam-packed with info. But I didn't want to overwhelm people today. So
Absolutely. So Myra came late. She wants to know where to get the recipes. So for Myra and everyone, welcome. And you get them you just email them at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. I'll type that in again. And Nancy says, will this be replayed? So let me just explain, guys, you're watching a technology that takes place on 5 different platforms. Most of you are watching on YouTube and Facebook, which is why you see less people that are actually watching. You see only who is on your platform. So it is available immediately right now from the beginning, but it will stay on YouTube. That's why I would love for you guys to subscribe to me on YouTube. And that's where this will be forever and ever until I die.
Right. Well, I'm at a point where I can show you the crust. So I've just blended the dates, cinnamon, and nuts together. And it's still a little bit crumbly, but I know that when I press it into the side of my tart pan. So this is one of those, I have several different shapes, this is a rectangular one. This is a kind of a long one, which I'm going to use. And then I have some mini tarts as well. So this is the one I'm going to use now. And I simply take with clean hands, I take the crust ingredients and I will just pour it into the base of the pan. And then I just push it around. I'm going to add more. I should probably remove the blade. So I just push it around into the base of the pan and up the sides so that I can, this is a raw recipe. There's no cooking, no baking, no anything. It's a nice summer raw recipe. So I'm going to push the crust into the edge of the pan all the way around so that the base is covered. You don't want it too thick because you want to be able to put the filling in here as well. But I do want to have a little thin crust all the way around. And I'll just keep pushing into the sides. And again, I say, if you don't want to use nuts, you can use dried mulberries with the dates. They have a nice texture and consistency.
Yeah, and a lot of fruit tart recipes out there, even vegan ones, contain a lot of oil. So it's really nice to know that you don't need oil at all to create a delicious fruit tart. It's so easy. The ingredients are so simple. And it's fun to make this even with your family, like get your kids involved in decorating the top of it. And it can be whipped up so fast, which is nice. Whereas a lot of the other fruit tarts out there that contain a lot of nuts in the filling take a little bit longer to set.
Okay, so I have my tart crust in the pan. And next up, I'm going to make the filling. And this is one of those things where it's just so easy. But we do have a recipe in our series for a fruit tart that is just called a summer fruit tart. It's not sinless, it's a summer fruit tart because the filling does have cashews. It reminds you of a traditional fruit tart that you might buy in a French bakery where it has, the chantilly cream inside with all that, butter and eggs and all that kind of thing. But ours is made with cashew and lemon, and it is lovely. But it is kind of caloric, but it's beautiful and it's very pleasing. If you're just going to have it once in a while, it's not so bad.
And that's okay, because not everybody needs to or wants to lose weight. So I am not against whole food fats. Again, if somebody wants to eat fat, that's where you want to eat them, for raw, unsalted nuts, seeds, avocado, tahini. Anna Marie wants to know where your tart crust pan is from.
I think I might have got this one from Williams-Sonoma. They have a lot of great shapes and styles. But you could probably get it, Bed Bath & Beyond too. So anyway, so that's my crust. I'm going to make the filling. And again, I'm going to be making some blender noise because the filling for this is it's just going to be for frozen bananas whipped up in my Vitamix. So a lot of you know it is an ice cream. So I'm going to blend up a bunch of frozen bananas right here and make a lot.
I love the way you say banana.
Oh, bananas. Yeah, so you say banana, I say banana. Yeah. So where I grew up, we called them bananas, and I guess 30 years of living in this country, and I'm still calling them bananas. So
it's so cute. And somebody loves your necklace too. I'm not sure which one of you necklace they're referring to. Maybe it's your necklace. Yeah.
Are you wearing one?
I'm not wearing a necklace.
So
maybe it's my wrinkles. Kaileigh, you have a necklace.
Yeah, both my earrings and my necklace are from my friend Ashley. Her brand is like Adorning Aphrodite, and she makes the most amazing jewelry. So,
well, maybe we'll have to have her on the show to show her jewelry.
Oh my gosh, her jewelry is spectacular. Yes, she's super fun too.
Because this is not, somebody got mad because somebody was, I don't know, doing something or something that wasn't like SOS free, ultimate weight loss. This is not the ultimate weight loss SOS free show. This is a lifestyle show called Chef AJ Live. Takes place starting tomorrow, June 1st, every day at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We settled on a time. It will only be taking place once a day from now on, with the exception of today when we have Dr. Esther at 4. And the only exception to the 11 a.m. time is every now and then I'll have a doctor that's in Australia or New Zealand. And if we did it at 11 a.m., that would be 3 in the morning for them. So there's one day in June, I believe it's Monday, June 15th, when Dr. Greg Fitzgerald will be on at 3 p.m., but it will be 11 a.m. starting tomorrow. We've done over 100 episodes. So I really thank you guys for helping me co-create this show and being there and sharing this with you. Oh, there's the blend. I swear Zoom must be doing something because we barely hear the blender.
I know,
so
it's like magical.
You know what I think I'll do is every time I blend now, I'll just have Zoom running so that, so Jennifer loves your earrings. So yeah, that's fantastic.
Adorning Aphrodite. It's all Ashley. I'll tell her. I specifically thought about her when I put this on. I'm like, I might as well tell everyone about her amazing work.
Wow. You're so welcome, Ines. So thank you guys for being here. I may as well tell you 4 o'clock today, we have Dr. Esser. He's another one that you guys keep emailing me about. You want him back and he's coming back. So we'll probably have a few people that come on every month. And we're pretty much booked now for June and July. So we're booking now for August, and we try to balance the cooking demos with the doctors because we know some people prefer one, some people prefer the other, but we've got a lot of both. And tomorrow at 11 is Dr. Karen Deena, and she is from the Raw Food Mastery Summit. We've already had her husband, Dr. Rick Deena, on. So if you are concerned about your omega-3 fatty acids, she is the one that really wrote the book on this kind of nutrition. So thank you for saying I'm the best. I appreciate it because it's not everybody's so nice, as I'm sure you know, on social media. So.
Well, Chef AJ, you have the nicest audience. We got so many wonderful emails and comments the last time we were on the show. And I just was like, wow, really restores your faith in humanity. A wonderful group of people. I don't know if it's because most of them are eating vegetables, but
yeah, I think it's what they're eating. But I spent like 2 days replying to everyone last time. We had so many emails, and I just had so much fun like writing. Everyone had written such beautiful notes. So thank you guys. It's really sweet, and it's nice to get to know you.
Well, thanks. And I try to have I almost want to call I call this show Chef AJ Live because of lack of creativity on my part, but I almost want to call it the show about nice people for nice people. And if you're not a nice person, don't watch.
I love that. That's great. That's a great title. So I just took the bananas, very ripe. They must be very ripe. You know, the ones with the black spots on, not those green, bright yellow ones. So very ripe bananas that were frozen. I let them sit out for about 10 minutes. I put them in my Vitamix blender and just blended them together. And I have this lovely thick ice cream. So I'm going to use this as the filling for the tart. Whoops, I probably shouldn't put that over there. So I'm just going to pop a bunch of this into the tart, and then I'm going to decorate it with fruit. And you can go ahead and serve this right away if you want, or you can, once you've decorated it, you can wrap the whole tart up in saran wrap and put it in your freezer for, I don't know, a couple of months. I always have one on hand for my son-in-law who comes to visit and absolutely loves this. So I can always pull it out at a moment's notice. So you just spread the filling in the tart. I'm going to take a little bit off. And then if you wanted to make a chocolate tart, I would add, I still have some of the pie crust, the tart crust here. I would add a little bit of raw cacao to it. And then I would add some raw cacao to this. And I could make a chocolate tart, and I'll show you a little bit about that soon. So I'm going to spread the ice cream in the tart pan, and then I'm going to get decorating. So I've got it a little too full here.
I've been working on our recipe book for our June series, and I'm like putting all these beautiful food photos in, and my husband's just like watching me, and he's like, I have FOMO right now. Like, I'm missing out on all of your mom's amazing food because we haven't been able to visit for a few months. So every time we go, he's just like in heaven eating all of her creations.
All right, so I've got my tart and my filling ready, and now I need to decorate it. So I have a bunch of fruit that's already cut up, but I want to show you some cute little fun tricks and tips for cutting the fruit. Well, firstly, maybe I'll show you what the finished tarts look like. So this is this was one that was sent out. Oops, I don't want to. This is a fruit tart. This is the circular one. Same thing. It's got the nut crust filled with the ice cream, and then I've decorated with fruit. I've got mangoes and blueberries. And then this is, I took this out of the freezer right before we started the show. So this would be like perfectly ready to slice into. You wouldn't be able to take it right from the freezer because it's really hard. You want to let it sit out for about 15, 20 minutes. So that was the one that I made. And then I made a chocolate version. This is chocolate with strawberries. Whoops, I don't want to tilt it too far. Strawberries and raspberries. And these were the mini tarts, and these are nice for individual servings. So I've just decorated this with raspberries and strawberries. So those are delicious. And I like to, when I serve the tart, like if I were going to serve this tart, I would put a whole bunch of fruit around the base of it so that when people have the tart, you know, if they have a slice of it or if they have a bunch, they'll also pick up a bunch of other fruit, which are just natural fruit in their whole form and full of fiber. And it just makes the platter really pretty. And then maybe I would put a few sprigs of mint just for some nice green color to decorate. And that just ends up being really pretty. So it's a nice, colorful summer dessert. No muss, no fuss. And again, this is just, I put raw cacao into the ice cream and made a chocolate tart. So that's that one. I'm going to decorate this guy. So the first thing I'm going to start with, I think, and I never really know exactly how I'm going to do it. I mean, I have used this shaped tart before, so I have an idea. I think I'm going to start with mangoes around the edge and then put some strawberries and blueberries, but we'll see. So for the mango, you don't know, these are absolutely wonderful at this time of year. The seed of the mango is lined up like this. I want to cut down each side of it. So I'm going to cut down each side along the side of the pit. So this is the pip. I'll save this later because I'm definitely going to chew around that. And then this is the mango. So I'm going to scoop out, like you do with an avocado. You want to scoop out the whole half mango here. And I'll just plop that down on my board upside down. And then I take a knife and I cut at a diagonal, I cut very thin slices. And I'm going to use these slices of mango to go around my tart. So, and I just kind of layer each piece halfway onto the last slice. So I'm not doing it end to end. I'll pick this up and show you in a moment.
And
So,
that kind of mango is called champagne mangoes for anyone who doesn't know. And they're really sweet and they have less strings than the other mangoes. You can get them at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, a lot of other grocery stores. Or if you can find them at fruit markets, you can get big crates, which is even better.
Yeah, I grew up in Southern Africa in a country called Zimbabwe. And I grew up on a farm and we had mango trees on the farm, but they were not these kind of mangoes. They were really big, plump mangoes, but they were very stringy. So anyway, you can see a little bit there. I'm starting to edge my way around. So I have some more sliced up here. I'm going to go a little, speed up the camera here and put mango all the way around. A nice bright color for summer as well. And this is a fun thing for little kids to do as well. They like to make up their own designs. And there are no rules with this kind of dessert. You just make up whatever you want. And if you don't like mangoes, then use another fruit. I have a bunch of kiwis and strawberries. So there you go. So I've got the mango going around the edge. And then I'm just going to take some strawberries. So with a strawberry, again, I have these really cute little strawberry color. I think I got this at Williams Sonoma. Take that out, and then you can just slice your strawberries. Ideally, you want to have the ones that are shaped like a little heart. So I'm just going to place a whole bunch of strawberries down the center of my tart. And this is going to add some nice vibrancy and color. So I'm going to add strawberries, and then I have, what else do I have here? I have I could use some kiwis, but then they might cover up too much of my tart. So I'm just going to go with blueberries down the side. So now I've got my strawberries looking pretty, but we can make it prettier. And I'm just going to pop blueberries down the side. Again, this is just perfect if you have, kids or grandkids or even a bored husband or wife who wants to get involved in the kitchen and help out. This is fun. So I pop the blueberries all along the side. And this is going to be a delicious fruit tart. Again, I could serve it right now. I could slice it. I would probably slice it this way. And then I could also wrap it up right now in saran wrap and pop it in the freezer. So that is the finished fruit tart. Didn't take long. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing, but it kind of can look fancy. So.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Everybody says how delicious it looks. And there's a question on how do you keep bananas from going brown?
Oh, well, we want the bananas to go brown. Those are the good ones. I don't have any that are super black right now, but honestly, the darker, the more speckled and black they are, the sweeter they are. So you satisfy everybody's palate. So I say don't eat those green ones. They're not as easy to digest. So yeah, stay away from those ones anyway. But can I just show you one other thing here?
Sure.
I have, so in honor of Chef AJ and her true following, I have another version because yes, this has dates, this has nuts. So I have another version here, which I made, and I made them in purple because I know that they're Chef AJ's favorite color. This is just blueberry banana and ice cream in the tart, and I've popped that into one of the tart containers and popped it into the freezer, wrapped it in saran wrap, and pulled it out. So this is a blueberry. It's a light purple, and I wasn't sure which kind of purple you liked so much. So this one is a darker one. This is a very dark purple. Again, it's blueberry and banana, and then I've decorated with mango and stuff. And so these ones, again, There is no nuts. It's just fruit, whole fruit, and nothing but the fruit.
Oh, but you're teasing me. You made it for me, but you're not giving it to me.
She really want to jump through the screen.
Oh my God. Somebody has to invent taste division. So Debbie meant, how do you keep bananas from going brown after you, like afterwards?
So I buy bananas by the crate load. I don't know if any of you seen my Instagram shopping hauls lately. I've been going to the grocery store every 2 weeks. So I get a lot of stuff. So I have a whole lot of bananas. And as they get to that black speckled spot, I simply peel them and pop them in a Ziploc bag and put them in my freezer. And I use them for ice cream and smoothies. My husband's a huge cyclist, so he loves to come home and have a green smoothie with frozen bananas and spinach and hemp seeds and things inside. So I always have a stash of frozen bananas in the freezer. And that's what I do with my brown bananas. Does that help, Debbie?
Yeah, and maybe she means like if you slice them for a pie, you just a little bit of lemon juice will keep them from browning.
Oh yeah, if you're having it fresh. Yeah, a little bit of lemon juice.
So Kathleen wants to know what is your accent?
It's from Zimbabwe. I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Zimbabwe, which is in central southern Africa. And I moved to the United States about 31 years ago, married to my American husband, and we've been married, it'll be 30 years coming up in August. So I came here as a young, I don't know, how old was I? 22 years old or something. So it's been a while, but I've been here 31 years.
Well, we're sure glad you are. Ellen says these are such beautiful Epicurean presentations, so lovely. And Deena says, do most people eat the skin on the eggplant?
Oh, I do. Wait, I definitely do. You can cut into it. So this particular recipe, the eggplant skin gets really nice and soft at the end, so you can slice into it. If you don't like the skin of the eggplant, I guess you could just eat the filling, but I think you would be missing out.
Great. I have a question that was sent in by email through Melanie. And again, anytime you send us a question in, we always make sure we ask it. If you're on my mailing list, you just respond to it that way. It's, could you please ask your wonderful guests tomorrow about holes in leafy greens? I'm growing kale in my garden. It seems little bugs like it too because there are small holes in the leaves. Can you still eat leafy greens with bug holes, or is it best to avoid those leaves?
I grew up on a farm, so I'm not scared of bugs or any kind of thing. In fact, I'm the one in the house who carries the spiders outside in my hands. Snakes, not so much, but spiders I'm fine with. So I would definitely eat them. They wouldn't feel bad to me at all. In fact, sometimes I get produce delivered from a company called Imperfect Produce, and the produce looks absolutely beautiful to me. It might not be grocery store worthy, but it's sometimes even more delicious. So I would say go ahead and eat those. I don't mind sharing my food with bugs.
That's
It
funny.
probably means it's more nutritious anyways, right?
That is hilarious. Well, your food is so beautiful. You're so lucky because you actually get to eat it now.
Oh, I know. I have a wonderful dinner planned. I've got the fruit tart for dessert. I've got the eggplant. I'm going to have it with a big, beautiful salad in my Holland Mill wooden salad bowl. And I'm all set. And for lunch, I wish I'd saved one for you, but I did a stir-fried pineapple rice that I served in a big pineapple boat. And that's going to be part of our meals and our sweet and savory summer series that we'll be hosting in June. So thank you.
Well, that sounds amazing. And guys, don't forget, just email them at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com and they'll be happy to send you these recipes. Nikki's asking, how do we get on my mailing list? So why don't I just right now in the chat, let me go. Good thing I can do multiple things at once. Here you go. There's a link. And we also send you recipes when you sign up. We try to send out an email every day just to tell you who the guest is in case you want to ask questions. Deena, and we have some people that are either from South Africa, Johannesburg, or near Zimbabwe watching or grew up there. And Deena says, what is a traditional dish of Zimbabwe?
Well, a lot of the food that I grew up with was very British sort of colonial food. So it was roast beef and roast potatoes. We also had a lot of peri chicken was a big dish, where the farm that I grew up on was right on the Mozambique border. And so a lot of our food influences were from Mozambique, which was called Portuguese East Africa. And so we had a lot of spice, a lot of olives, traditional dishes. The Native African people eat what's called sadza and relish. Sadza is kind of like, I was making polenta the other night, which is a recipe that's in our Sweet and Savory Summer series. And as I was making the polenta, I was thinking, wow, this is kind of like making sadza, because it's a cornmeal, thick, like porridge almost. And they eat that with either with meat or a better version with relish, which is a lot of leafy greens and tomatoes in a nice sort of stew. And they eat sadza and relish. Yeah, so those are some of the traditional ones. But I grew up, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and a lot of dairy and meat. But obviously, once I became vegan, I had to veganize everything. So this has been really fun.
Yeah,
That's amazing. You have anything to say, gorgeous Caileigh?
Oh, just that I think that's a really fun thing about my mom's recipes is that she really has an art at making a lot of traditional like comfort foods be veganized and also be a lot healthier. So you have like all the flavor, but you still feel light after meals. Because I think that's one of the biggest things I noticed when I went vegan is I just felt like way more energized. My digestion was so much better. And but it's still nice to have all the flavor and to have like all of those amazing different cuisines from around the world.
That is terrific. Well, I hope you guys will come back in July because everybody loves your presentation and your food. And again, guys, if you just write vegannewsdaily@gmail.com, they will send you the recipes. And there's also links that we'll put in the show notes if you're interested in signing up for their June class. Okay, so you're going to have to do a fashion episode, Caileigh, because people love your jewelry. And now they're asking, what do you have on your lips?
On my lips, lipstick.
But they want to know what kind. So
okay, we'll do a fashion episode. I don't have to go look at my lipstick right now. I don't even know the name of it.
That's great. Yes. Everyone's saying they'd love to have you back. So guys, I'd love to have you back today at 4:00 when I'll be talking to Dr. Esser about autoimmune disease and more. Jennifer says it was a great show. Thank you. So thanks again, Vegan News Daily, mother-daughter duo. I really appreciate you guys coming here, and your food is beautiful, just like you guys.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you so much, Chef AJ. We really appreciate being on your show, and thanks to everybody. And we hope that you'll join us. And if you do make any of the recipes, tag us on Instagram. It's really fun to see what you create and make these recipes your own. So thank you.
Great. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.